3月20日、日本時間、3月19日、米国時間、フォールテリトリー、そして MLB ネットワークのニュース番組は、現代野球の中心に立つ一人の存在を改めて浮き彫りにした。その名は大谷翔平。数字が語るのは、単なる成功ではなく、時代の象徴としての重みだった。番組で示されたデータによれば、2026年に大谷がスポンサー契約などで得る収入は約1億2500万ドルに達すると予測されている。多くの選手が年俸中心の収益構造にある中で、この額は群を抜く。それは彼が競技の枠を超え、世界的なブランドとして認識されている証でもある。彼の存在はロサンゼルス、ドジャースだけでなく、MLB 全体に経済的な波紋を広げている。球場には新しい観客が集まり、日本からの放送需要は増大し、リーグの商業価値は確実に押し上げられている。番組ではスティーブン、カリー、タイガー、ウッズ、ロジャー、フェデラーといった世界的アイコンと並び語られた。それは、大谷が世代を代表するスーパースターであることを示す象徴的な比較だった。さらにスプリングトレーニングでの投球内容にも触れられ、球速や投球効率の高さが今季の鍵になると分析された。物語は続いていく。次の一瞬をぜひ見届けてほしい。
We are displaying the top earners in baseball with endorsements included into the fold. This chart is wild, and it should tell the story of how globally sought after Shohei Ohtani is. He is a global phenomenon. Okay, I'm going to make it nice and simple here. AJ, the darker color, if that's a green, whatever it is, shows the salary meter. And the lighter color, the green, shows the endorsement money. Shohei Ohtani is projected to earn $125 million in 2026 from sponsor and memorabilia deals. $125 million. He is making by far more than any other major leaguer. And second on the list is pretty interesting. Cody Bellinger on there. Almost everyone else on here is majority the darker color because it's coming from player salary. You see Soto, Judge, and Harper are getting some good change. The rest of them, it's what, probably 90% plus, maybe even more than that, coming from their actual contracts. So when you see this list and you see this chart, what do you think?
Yeah, Shohei is the greatest thing baseball has going for it right now. Need to take absolute advantage of it every chance they get, and they're trying to do that. I mean, we all know this. This is why the Shohei contract for the Dodgers was an absolute no-brainer, and every other team should have tried to get him, because not only does he bring in his own money, he brings in money to the organization. He brings fans and stands. He brings Japanese eyes and televisions into it. So this just shows what we all knew, which is Shohei Ohtani is a unicorn in this game, and we were fortunate to be able to see him in his prime.
What a number. $125 million. What a number. I mean, it is something that, like AJ said, Major League Baseball needs to not take advantage of this, but make sure that this doesn't pass them by. The Dodgers clearly haven't. The Dodgers, I mean, people are going to complain, well, there's just another reason the Dodgers, if he's making $125 million, what are the Dodgers making off of him? That's the real question. Because the Dodgers aren't sitting there going, oh, great, Shohei, you're fine. Make your 125. No, they're getting TV sponsorships. They're getting sponsorships. The whole league is getting money because their games on the road, Japanese teams want to telecast those games. Well, the Dodgers don't have access to that, so there's more money. When you have a superstar, generational, will go down as the best player of all time because of the fact that he can pitch and hit, Major League Baseball is also profiting off of this.
Hey, last year they had Ohtani at around $100 million from endorsement deals. And they said here in, what is this, Sportico? Yeah, Sportico. 3 athletes have ever done that before. Do you guys know who they are? Did you read the notes that we put in? Or do you want to play the game?
Steph Curry.
That's one.
I mean, LeBron.
We talked about this.
They don't have LeBron on here.
LeBron didn't get over 100. No, he didn't get over 100 million.
I mean, I feel like one of the soccer players, either Messi or Ronaldo, would be one of them.
They're not on here either. Other
I
sports.
thought Ronaldo was, but not.
You guys are in the right realm. Other sports, but not the two that you just mentioned. Yes, we got Curry. That's the NBA. The other two are international icons in their respective country club sports.
Oh,
Tiger
maybe
Woods.
like a Tiger Woods or something like that. It'd have to be a Tiger Woods.
Roger Federer,
Yeah.
because he had his own Federer line. Yeah.
Yeah, Federer and Woods. That's what they have, at least in here. And Tiger is from a while ago. They said his 2009 endorsement earnings of 105 million was the prior record. That's a long time ago.
He was the best.
He was a pretty big deal back then.
He was the best.
Yeah. For Bellinger, by the way, just as far as how much money you're making between your player contract and your marketing deals, he's number 2 at 57.5 million in baseball. That plays to the way the sport is shifting. It's been trying to shift this way for a while. The big market teams have been trying to tighten up the length of the deals at times because they don't want to be trapped in these large, big contracts. So that's where you saw guys like Bellinger and Bo Bichette, who's relevant today since the Phillies thought they had him in the bag, and the Mets were like, we'll give you just as much or just about as much for way less years. And then he goes to the Mets like Don Mattingly was telling us earlier. All right, one more thing. Sportico putting out the top 5 MLB team valuations, some updated numbers there. And the team that
Dodgers,
is worth
Yankees.
the most in their mind, yeah, of course, Dodgers, Yankees. But you would think it's the way you described it, but it's still the reverse. The Yankees are still rated higher on valuation, 9.4 billion. They've got the Dodgers at 9.05 billion.
Yeah. What I can't see. I can't see who. Cubs.
I'll read the rest
Giant.
for you. Well, because the podcast
Red
crowd
Sox.
will like this too. Red Sox 6.65 billion. Chicago Cubs 6.48 billion, and then there's another big drop off. There's like basically 2 tiers. You've got the Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, Cubs, and then you go down to the Giants, who have a valuation of 4.36 billion.
Well, show the other leagues' values. That's why the owners of baseball want a salary cap, because then their franchise values go up.
Yeah,
they multiply. They go up so fast. I mean, it's crazy when you look at other sports. And that's because they have a cap. And that's why owners want a cap, is because it makes their franchise values go up. And then they can borrow against those franchises to get into other investments that make more money. So it's crazy how that works. And people say, why are baseball teams not worth as much as other teams? That's the reason. And that's why, hence why some owners want a salary cap, a hardline cap.
Because it's a free market sport.
No. You're saying it's not because they want it to be fair? That's why they're doing AJ. The owners want to make more money off a salary cap system? Unbelievable. Breaking news. Clip that, okay? I thought it was because they all wanted it to be fair and they all wanted a chance to win a championship. No, the owners want more money.
Well, if you want it to be fair, why wouldn't you just share the money and then make the money that's shared have to be spent?
Nope,
Sounds
fair.
too easy,
make
right?
It fair. Nope, make it fair.
Be like, cool, let's give 100 mil to all these teams that say they can't, and then they actually have to spend it on the team.
Oh, and they would get good players? Oh, and there would be good players on the field. And then everybody's value would go up? Ah! Don't do it, Scott. Don't do it. Don't say the common sense things.
I just want to point out that you stole my good point from earlier in the show. I just, when we keep score and tabulate this at the end of the show, I just want some acknowledgement from Patrick and Tim that he stole my good point from earlier in the show. He sort of gave me some half-hearted acknowledgement of it. Well, I mean, you matched my good point from earlier in the show, but you stole it too, which I just, I don't know. Like, isn't there etiquette between hosts here on the show that we don't steal each other's, thoughts and ideas?
Oh, I mean, you've never taken one of my points ever.
No, I don't think I ever have. I mean, if you can recall one, I'd be happy to hear it, but I don't think so. All right, we round third, head home with a home run. What's that, Tim?
He just repurposed it. That's it.
Oh, you repurposed it. That is a nice way of saying you stole it. Yes.
No, I twisted it and said it a little bit better for it to be more positive on the Yankee side.
Oh, did you?
Did you see how I did that?
I see how you did that. And yes, so the Yankees, they're talking about late May, early June. but he looks like he's going to be ready before that. All right, we round third, head home with a home run. See if Xavier steals my point on this one as well. But one of the aces of the game, in fact, the guy who already has been handed the NL MVP trophy, pitched yesterday.
So Ohtani gets the first batter in the top of the fifth. He's at 61 pitches. He's reached his limit, and he gets a standing ovation on his way out of the ballgame.
Actually, it didn't feel like it was my first spring training outing. I do see this as more of an extension of a live BP situation. So honestly, it didn't feel too bad going into this game. In terms of the next outing, I do want to be better at executing in 2-strike counts. I just didn't finish off hitters as much as I wanted to. The fact that I had to get things going earlier in the off season maybe was the only thing that really affected my preparation, but it did really help me. I think it helped me more so than it hurt me.
Will Ireton translating there for Shohei Ohtani, who was on the bump yesterday for the first time in quite some time in real live action. And Steve, I think what jumps out to me, and don't worry about any points because you didn't have any good points on Shohei Ohtani earlier in the show.
Thanks. So, yeah, as I recall, you're right about that.
What sticks out to me is that the same thing about Garrett Cole in a sense, the velocity, it jumps off the page when you think about him this early in spring training, already being able to touch 99 miles an hour. Like, what does that look like in June? What does that look like in July? Does he continue to get stronger from a velocity standpoint? I like seeing the different pitches as well, the efficiency of that stuff. I know he talked about wanting to put away more hitters, but still got swing and miss and was able to put away 4 guys. So I still like the fact that he went out there and showed efficiency. And that's going to be the biggest thing. It's not whether or not he's going to be great, because we know he'll be great, but can he keep that going all season long? And he's going to have to be efficient to do that. He's going to not have to can't waste pitches. He's got to be smart about his pitch count. Those are the things that I'm looking at for Shohei Ohtani. And if he does that, he easily can get himself to 20, 25 starts, easily winning another MVP.
Yeah, the curveball, like he said he needed to do better with 2 strikes. Just throw that curveball. Like he locked everybody up on that thing. They couldn't even react to it. It was so good. And, you go back to the last time that he pitched and he made his way, mostly through a season. But it was late in that year with the Angels, remember, when his elbow gave out on him and his body was cramping up. He had thrown against the Detroit Tigers. And he threw a complete game, a shutout in the first game. And then he hit 2 home runs in the second game and running around the bases. He was cramping up. And from that point on, his body felt like it was rejecting being a two-way player. I just worry about, can he go through another elbow injury and, a third Tommy John surgery? Because, I mean, honestly, the second one, he looks like Shohei Ohtani now. Like Dave Roberts was like, we got him in the 5th inning in his first start with the pitch count. It was fantastic. I don't know. Like, he's not a human being. Like, I don't know if we drew blood that it's red with him. I honestly don't think he's a normal human being. I think he's an alien. I mean, nobody can do what he's doing. Nobody can do this. Nobody.
That's kind of what, and I think that's why I look at what the Dodgers, and as everybody gets upset about their spending and the deferrals and all that stuff, and I look at, they've done everything they've needed to do to protect Ohtani. And I think that is a focal point for them. And when I say that, what I mean is by the depth of their rotation and not settling with just mediocrity from a starting pitching standpoint. Yes, go trade for Tyler Glass now. Go get yourself Blake Snell, who seems to be coming along a little slow. But Yamamoto, I look at Roki Sasaki should have a better season this year from a starting pitching standpoint. There's depth there when you look at River Ryan and Gavin Stone coming back into the fold too. So they've protected themselves to where they don't need Ohtani to throw every 5th day. They can go a stretch if he feels a little tired. Okay, hey, take a break, man. We've got think about last year, Steve. Most of their pitchers, if not all of them, were out for some point during the regular season. And they still were the best team in the West. So I look at the ability to withstand multiple injuries and the ability to rest guys, that's huge for Ohtani, because now with him coming back, it's like, yo, don't feel like you need to be 100% at the beginning of the season. We need you for September, October. Make sure you're ready at that point.
Yeah, I tuned you out because once I saw River Ryan, like, what a great first name. Like, what a great first name. River Phillips would have been, like, I'd have been a big leaguer, honestly. River Phillips would have been a great name. Not Steve, but River. That is an outstanding job. That's parents that know the name game right there. They understand how that works. Like, you get it.
Yeah.
You've got Zeke, Xander, and Zuri. Scruggs. Those are all great names. Cool. I mean, it's Xander Jet, isn't it? Xander Jet.
Xander Jet. Yeah.
Like, that's unbelievable. I mean, your kid's going to be so fast. And there's something about the name game that works in River Phillips. Yeah.
I got a friend, now that I thought about it, he's a poker player, John Racner. He's won the World Series of Poker previously. He named all three of his sons something to do with poker. One of his sons, the oldest one, is River. He's got a Remington and he's got a Reed. So he knows the name game as well. But I thought, there's a lot of people that understand the name game, and obviously your parents, I don't know if they quite did.
No. Jerome and Phyllis Phillips. I mean, come on. Like, she met my dad and found out that her name would end up being Phyllis Phillips, and she still married him. Like, that's just not understanding the name game at all. By the way, at least your buddy did name his kid Hit Me, because that probably, going through school, that would not, hey, hit me. I mean, that would not go well, naming them after card stuff. All right, we're breaking down the Central Division of the American League. We've gone through some of it, but we're going to talk Cleveland Guardians and how are they going to win the division again this year, because they just seem to find ways. We'll talk about it next in the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio and live on TV. I once, when I was on the Morning Men on Mad Dog Sports Radio with Evan Cohen and Mike Babchick, they once asked me, where is Flo Rida from? And I said, and I figured, the Music Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. So I said, Cleveland. They're like, Steve, his name is Flo Rida. It's spelled Florida. I'm like, oh, that one I was lost on me. I didn't get it until I got it.